My name is Celesté. I'm 19. We are in Tempe, Arizona, and the name of my interview partner is Ben, and the relationship to him is we're just conversation partners.
Hello, my name's Benjamin. I'm 23 years old. Celeste is my interview partner, and our relationship is conversation partner. I guess personal experiences that formed my political views is growing up in a lower income family right outside of Paso, Texas, and then really like my political views started forming after I joined the military, and I started seeing things from a different perspective. I grew up in the church most of my life, so my mom is apostolic, and church was always a big deal with us. We would go to church like 3 to 4 times a week, and I grew up just kind of questioning a lot of the church activities, but I was told, not to, so I kind of just felt forced into it. But even then, slowly I started questioning things a little bit more and more. I took a few philosophy classes, and I took a existentialism class, and I think that's when I really started seeing things from a different perspective, which really started forming my political views as well. Because, like I said, growing up poor, I kind of, guided myself more to like a Democrat, I guess. So after I left home, when I was in the military, really that, I started really getting more and more conservative, sticking to my beliefs. But as I said before, my philosophy classes kind of opened my worldview. So then I started seeing things from a libertarian perspective, and that's kind of where I'm at today. Because I don't necessarily want to be in one side or the other. I think that we should look at things, from a well-rounded viewpoint.
Okay, I was definitely freaking out a little. It's just crazy because I took existentialism as well, and that class basically made me make philosophy my major. So we actually have so many similarities. I grew up a Jehovah's Witness, so for us, religion, going to church, we did that 4 times a week as well, and it was also something that I never questioned. I didn't start forming political beliefs until my junior year of high school. I just became more liberal because of who was around me. And then, actually, freshman year, my boyfriend, him and his family are very Catholic and Republican. So when I went into existentialism, I had just finished deciding I didn't want to be affiliated with Jehovah's Witnesses anymore. And that class definitely opened my mind up even more to, like truth and stuff like that. And then I started going to Mass just to go because I like being spiritual. I was around my boyfriend a lot. Not that they started rubbing off on me, they kind of helped me start to question a lot of things I believed in too. I'm definitely not as liberal as I used to be. I'm kind of more in the middle, mostly because I'm starting to understand how much bias there is in everything and how quick people are willing to just believe one thing and not actually talk about it and then just be angry at the other person. I feel like it's just better to be independent and not just completely side with one ideology.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. Or they just put themselves in like in this box per se. They just surround themselves among these similar group of people. They all think the same, and they never go outside of it. That's why I think it's a good idea to step outside your comfort zone and talk to people from different perspectives. Talk to people from the other side and see where they're coming from. See what influenced them. Because like when you're just surround yourself from similar people, like that's all you're gonna know. That's your little world. That's I like to say, like we all create our own little worlds, and you never really know what's outside of it unless you go out and explore other worlds. I think really what helped me see things from a different perspective was when I moved out of El Paso, because that was I lived there for 18 years or whatever, and that's all I knew. I thought that the whole rest of the U.S. was, I think El Paso's like 80, 85, 80% Hispanic. And I was like, yeah, that's how the rest of the U.S. was. And then I moved to Louisiana, which there was like no Hispanics there. And I'm like, oh, okay, like I guess the U.S. is not like El Paso. And then I started traveling a lot more to different places all over the U.S. And I started, talking to different people from different viewpoints. And then that really opened my mind and really helped me see things from a different side. Yeah.
I think generally people are also very uncomfortable with dealing with what they don't know or talking about things that they don't know about.
What do you think that is, though? Like, what do you think is stopping a lot of?
I took an English class last year and also shaped a lot of my views along with like the existentialism class. I feel like the way conversation and how human interaction is built, it's more like a winner loser kind of idea. I feel like everybody has that idea, and I think it's just something that's been pushed on humans for centuries, since the beginning of humans, like, I have this, so automatically you lose. Like, there always has to be some kind of conflict because somebody always has to be doing better than somebody else. Yeah. So I just feel like people aren't okay with other people having different views.
Yeah.
That goes back to like the whole like, I'm right, you're wrong. I'm going to win because I'm right or something.
Yeah, and that was a big thing with religion. Going back to that, the apostolic church, that I went to, it just kind of seemed like, hey, we're right and everyone else is wrong. And I remember even like them saying that other Christians were wrong and like the apostolics were correct. And I'm not trying to speak bad about apostolics or anything. It was just basically like my perspective, my experience. But I always question, like, okay, if everyone else is Christian and everyone else believes in God, then why are they wrong and why are we right? Mm-hmm. And basically, like the existentialism class, it just got to the point where I'm like, okay, everyone just believes what they want to believe in. And I think that's when I made the switch from being really Christian to kind of being agnostic, and that's where I consider myself now. Just you can't prove anything and you can't disprove it either. Because at the end of the day, everyone believes what they want to believe, and if you really try hard, then that's what's gonna make you believe it.
Yeah. I totally agree with that. You're gonna make yourself believe what you want. You're gonna look for what you want to hear. You're gonna hear what you want to hear. I think at the end of the day, people just have to accept everybody's individual experiences are gonna determine what they believe, whether you like it or not.
Appreciate Celeste for talking, coming out. Yeah, it was great.